Nick Hausman, House of Wrestling. Bryan, man, wow, that was a banger. That was an absolute classic you put on there tonight. How? We all saw this X-ray that your wife shared. Your arm looked like it had been snapped in two. What did you do to be able to come back so quickly and perform as you did tonight?
So one, I had an excellent opponent tonight, and I think every time people see Ricky Starks, every time Ricky Starks gets an opportunity, he knocks it out of the park. And I will be the first one to say, and this is outside of like within our stories and what we do, he carried me through that match tonight. And I'm good at certain things. I mean, I'm good at a decent amount of things, and I'm confident in saying that. I can fire up, I can do all these things, but he was the one who carried me through that match. And so that's what I'm going to say.
Thanks. Dominic D'Angelo, Inside the Ropes. I kind of wanted to get your perspective too. The ending of that match was pretty epic in a lot of ways and reflected Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. Kind of wanted to get your guys' vibe on Ricky Starks, kind of establishing himself maybe as a top star moving forward, Bryan. And as a quick follow-up, last time I asked you about the books you're reading, what are you currently reading?
Oh, gosh. So asking me about the finish, one of the things that we do in the Blackpool Combat Club is we like to test people. We like to push people. And part of that is story and part of that is real. And I have never wrestled Ricky Starks before. Never. We've never touched. We've never done anything. I've always watched him, and I thought, every time I see him, this guy is a star. He did that interview last night before I came out, and I was watching. And when he started talking about Big Bill, he also gets it. He's talking great. He's helped Big Bill in that thing, and he didn't have to. And so anyways, I wanted to see, okay, I've seen him, I've watched him, and this is my thing with a lot of people that I've seen and watched. I think this guy is good. Let me see how good he is. And also, certain wrestlers don't like some of the intensity I bring. And when you're in a situation like that, some people wilt and some people fire up. He fired up. And the end of that match is a representation of him being a gutsy performer. Let's change him from I'm hoping fans see him in a way now that, okay, he's very entertaining and he's good at that, but he's also gutsy. And so, yeah, that's and as far as books, so I just finished reading The Art of Impossible by Stephen Kotler. I'm in the middle. I just finished fiction-wise Black Sun, and am in the middle of the second book in that trilogy. And then I've been really revisiting Mary Oliver's poetry. I feel like you can never get enough of it. It's like you reread it and you see things more every time you read it. So, yep. Mm-hmm.
Bryan, Denise Salcedo. I wanted to ask you, given the success of AEW All In, I wanted to get your thoughts on the show and everything that happened.
So I loved it. As somebody who loves wrestling, still loves wrestling. I've been wrestling for 24 years and I still love wrestling. I was like, oh man, I don't know how they're going to top that. And then I go, oh, I don't know how they're going to top that. And when you go out there and do what Mox and Orange Cassidy did in the main event, after all the great wrestling before that, I think it's very hard to argue that Jon Moxley is not the best wrestler in the world. And there was a time when I would have said that about myself. But I find it very hard to argue that Jon Moxley's not the best. And one of the only arguments against that might be Orange Cassidy. So I was just thrilled with the show. I was thrilled with the Chicago crowd. It was it felt like an epic event as I'm watching it with the boys in the locker room, and we're watching it and we're high-fiving and we're like, that was awesome. That was awesome. Around the monitor during that main event with Mox and Orange Cassidy, I was around at least 6 people who goes, oh, and to get wrestlers who see everything to go, there was one thing, and I can't remember quite what it was. I was eating an apple. And I was like, oh, and like I had to run to the other side because I was choking on this apple and spitting it out. And then, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? And then, but like, it was great. You watch a wrestling show that's that good, you can't help but get like excited and have fun. And yeah, it's great.